ingredients here for the spicy meatball. And Lata, so what do we have here? We have green chilies,
Yes.
which is for a garnish.
That's true.
Sliced onions,
Yes.
chopped coriander,
Yes.
fresh cream. How much is a fresh cream?
It's about half a cup.
Half a cup. A bit of salt,
Yes.
methi leaves,
Yes.
fenugreek leaves, chopped spring onions. Have you taken just the greens or is it the onions as well?
Onions as well.
Okay, so we've got green part, the whole spring onions, and then you
About
have
one cup of that.
1 cup of
Yes.
that. And you've got turmeric.
Turmeric.
How much is that?
That's about 1 teaspoonful.
And that's red chili.
Red chili, powdered chilies.
Is it Kashmiri chilies or they're just regular normal?
Regular normal, I think.
Okay, and what are these?
These are jeera. I
That's-
have fried the jeera and then I've rounded it.
And what do we have in here?
Garam masala.
Okay.
That I will be adding to the meat.
And this is breadcrumbs?
Breadcrumbs just to give a bit of a binding to the meatballs.
And this
One
is
whole chopped onion.
chopped onion, it's not grated.
No, it's chopped.
Okay, finely
Very nice.
chopped onions. And Lata, where did you get all the ingredients from?
This is all bought from Spice World.
Okay. Believe they have very good spices.
Yes, very wide selection, which I normally go and shop there. It's very good.
Oh, good. So do we start now?
Yes.
So how much is the lamb here that
I
we
have
have?
1 kilo lamb here, which is bought ready made, ready minced.
Okay.
And to that we will add 1 chopped onion,
Okay.
which is very finely chopped. With that, I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of
Garlic,
So 1, 2
Two.
tablespoons of garlic,
and ginger,
1 big tablespoon of ginger.
ginger paste, and
We'll add some chili powder, 1 teaspoonful, and also according to your taste, if you like it hot, you
Okay.
can add it more.
can you add green chilies, chopped green chilies
Definitely.
inside?
Yes, you can add green chilies,
Okay.
chopped green chilies, but today I'm using powdered one. Now I'm adding turmeric, which is 1 teaspoonful.
Maybe salt.
Yes. This is
Oh,
salt again according to your taste, but for 1 kilo I would add 1 teaspoon and a half,
Okay.
and
The jeera powder.
jeera powder, and lastly I will be adding garam masala. Now I add 2 teaspoonful, gives a nice taste and nice aroma, and with that I'll add breadcrumb as well, which is half a cup of breadcrumb. That gives a good binding to the
Okay.
meat.
Can it be substituted with gram flour, like the chana flour?
If
For
you
binding?
wish, yes, it can be. Lastly, I'm putting spring onions in, which is about 1 whole cup of spring onion finely chopped.
What do you have with the spring onions? Something like a breadcrumb?
No, that was, put it together and it's kind of got mixed up.
Oh, okay. And what about the
Now,
coriander?
coriander I'll add very lastly. Now you just mix it all
Knead
up.
it all
You
up.
knead it all in. Make sure all the masala and all your other ingredients are well combined.
When you're mixing it, it smells delicious.
Can you smell the masala?
Yes, I can smell all the spices being blended together. It looks, I'm sure it's going to make a good dish.
I hope so. You just make sure it's all kneaded properly. Keep turning the meat so all the ingredients get welded.
So Lata, can this be marinated overnight or does it have to be done on the spot and cooked on the spot?
No, it can be marinated a night before. Actually, it would be better. Just put a plastic seal out in the fridge,
Yeah.
and it would work out the same.
Would it have to be overnight or can you just do it for a couple of hours?
A couple of hours or even overnight, it wouldn't make much difference at all.
And can the lamb meat be substituted with chicken mince?
Yes, chicken you can do it the same way. You can do pork mince. Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, you can. Now it's well
Yeah,
kneaded,
so-
so all the ingredients are mixed in. Now we're ready to
What
put
about the
balls.
coriander? Are you going to add coriander now, or is it going to be for garnish? Or
I'll use it for garnish, I think. I've got other spices in there, so
okay.
it's or coriander for garnish and used freshly. It tastes much better rather than cooking it into the meat.
Inside the meat,
Yes.
okay.
Shall I start doing the balls now?
How big do the balls have to be?
Well, just a little round balls like this.
Okay.
All you need to do is to just give it a 1 or 2 swirl, and they're ready.
And you are going to fry them directly in the hot oil?
Directly in the hot oil for a few minutes, and then don't over fry it, because if you do it, the balls will get very hardened. So keep lightly fried, so that when you're doing it into the tomato sauce, the sauce will absorb into the meat.
And what about, can you grill them instead of frying them? For those who are conscious about not using much of oil, would you be able to grill them?
I don't see why they can't. It can be tried. I've never tried it myself, but I suppose you can try it, and I don't see why you can't. Sauce as well, so it'll be far well done then. Now the meatballs are ready to be fried, so I will be taking it to the stove.
Lata, how much oil do you have here?
I have 2 cups of canola oil, which I have already heated it up. Now we are going to add the meatballs into the oil. As you can see, I'm picking each one of them and still rounding it off, just in case they went a bit out of shape. So you need to put about half a dozen or 6 to 8 in one go, so they can have even flow of the oil while they're frying. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. Sometimes the 1 or 2 onions will come out browning like this, so that it doesn't matter. You can always scoop them out.
Lata, how about using some fried onions in that? Can we do that?
Yes, you can do that.
Is it much more tastier, or is the raw onion better?
I find the raw onion better, because once it's being fried with the meat, it's got a kind of a crunch into the, the onion is still half raw and half cooked, which is gives a nice taste.
So this can also be served as a starter, can it not?
Oh, definitely, yes. With a little bit of sauce, hot sauce or tomato sauce even, ketchup, it can be a lovely starter. In fact, my granddaughter loves meatballs like this. She did them just on its own rather than having it in the tomato soup.
You can see the nice light brown color coming up.
Yes, it has to be very light brown, otherwise if you make it too dark, it'll go hard, so the sauce won't sink, sort of absorb into the...
Is there any way, Lata, for all the onions, to stop the onions from coming out and floating there? What can we do?
Well, there is another way. What you can do, when you roll the meatballs like this, you can have plain flour on a plate and just roll the meat onto the plain flour.
Okay.
That should bind it even more, so the onions won't.
So Lata, the kebabs that you have here are evenly browned and they look really very inviting and tasty. So what is the secret behind it? The temperature of the oil?
Yes, you have to keep it in a very medium heat, not too high, not too low, just in medium, so they get very nicely evenly browned. And the trick is also to keep turning it so that just one side doesn't get too dark than the other. By turning it, it gets very evenly browned.
And sometimes when you have the onions sitting there for some time, it's tend to give out
some water juice.
So
yes.
what do? Do you squeeze out the water and just take the onion pulp, or what would you do?
Well, it's best to cut the onion fresh. When you're about to mix it into the meat. Then there's very little chance for the water to come out. So, yeah. I think mine was cut a little bit earlier, so that's why the juice may have come out. But even these little floating onions here, they don't go to waste. I scoop them out, and when I do my tomato puree, I add the fried onions onto it. It makes it even tastier, so nothing goes to waste here.
How long does it take to make the whole dish from the time?
Well,
Marinate and
preparation.
Yeah, the preparation.
Not more than 3/4 of an hour. If you've got all your things ready, not more than 3/4 of an hour. Half an hour should be enough, but sometimes you need that extra time to chop things. But 3/4 of an hour is a very, maximum you would need.
Making the sauce, yeah.
Indian Connection specializes in quality catering with a touch of Parsi and Indian cuisine. We offer mehfile kebabs, Maharaja style biryani, Daba favored meat delicacies, and vegetarian delicacies as well. Our telephone number to reach is 534-3236 or 021-1144-701. Our website is www.indianconnection.co.nz.
क्या आप इन सब एरियाज में रहते हैं और आप इजी सेविंग का फायदा भी उठाना चाहते हैं तो आइए सुपर वैल्यू मैंगो.
Now we are getting ready to do the sauce, which I'm going to chop half onion first, very finely. After I've halved it, I've quartered it now. I have some
Curry leaves
here, which were in longer pieces, which I've chopped them into little tiny pieces. So when you start eating it, it's the big leaf under your tongue. So when it's chopped in, it gets mixed in with the sauce. It's nice. Then I have some leftover ginger, about 1 tablespoon I'll be using out of this. Ginger, garlic, a little bit of turmeric, chili powder, as well as jeeru and garam masala. So I will be going to the stove.
We're going to...
Yeah, we're going to fry the onions first. Heat it all with about 3 tablespoons of oil, same oil that we have fried the meatballs in. You can use the same oil. We will put in the onions first.
Are we going to brown the onions?
Yes, slightly brown them because you don't want to put the leaves in straight away because the leaves is very tender and it will get brown faster than the onions. Perhaps you can stir that while I get the other ingredients. After the onions are starting to soften a little bit, you can add the curry leaves. And then we will add the ginger, 2 teaspoons full. And ginger.
You can get the smell of the infusing of the ginger and garlic.
Yes, you get a lovely aroma once it starts browning. I have 1 can of chopped up tomatoes in here, and a whole can of kidney beans, chili kidney beans, which I'm going to make the sauce with. Now that the onion and garlic and ginger are all browned, I'm going to eat 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 little teaspoons of chilies, 2 little teaspoons of jeera, and 2 tablespoons of garam masala.
All 2 tablespoons.
These are teaspoons, the little ones, and the garam masalas. So you can see the texture is nice and thick. It's not very flowy, so once the meatball goes in, as well as lastly I'll be adding the cream, so it'll have a nice thick texture, not a very runny or flowy texture.
So are you going to add the cream before or
No,
after
last,
added the,
no.
after the meatballs?
We will cook this for about 10-15 minutes. Once it starts bubbling and a little bit of oil will start coming out, then you know the tomato is done and the beans are cooked. We can also add at this stage,
Vinaigrette leaves?
no, this is kasuri methi.
Yeah.
Just about a little bit of 2 hand scoops like this. Maybe a little bit more. And just let that cook. As you can see, it's starting to bubble now. So give it about 5-6 minutes. We can put the lid on for about a few minutes and let it simmer for a few seconds. The reason we cover it because the tomato, once it starts boiling, it does splatter, so it's better that you cover it, so less mess.
Do you want to increase the heat
Um,
or just have a look?
we'll have a look. See, it's nice, see?
Yeah, and
The
it's
texture is really nice, not too thick or thin, so
the moisture will be absorbed by the koftas anyway, the
that's right, yes. As you can see, it's been simmering for a while, so the bubbles are starting to form. So lastly, I add a little bit of sugar. That just cuts the bitterness out of the tomatoes. Just a little bit, so it gives a nice
I
tang.
mean, it cuts off the tangy,
The sourness, yes. As you can see, it's just about ready. We are going to add the meatballs into it.
Shall I reduce the heat?
Yes, you can reduce it slightly. It's better to cook in a low heat than a higher heat, so less chance of burning. I also have the little onions that were fried and just added to the meatballs. It won't do any harm. Just
Now you're coating the
gently
meatballs with
turn
the
it,
fork?
yes, you just gently turn it over, make sure all the sauce is mixed into the meatballs.
Lata, what do you eat this with? Is it with rice or what is best served
Well,
with?
again, it's a people's preference. Normally meatball goes better with rice, which we normally have it with basmati rice, but some people prefer it with chapati, roti, or whatever they prefer. But meatballs, because of the flowing of the juice, it goes nicely with rice. Lastly, I'm going to add about half a cup of cream.
About 150 ml?
Yes. Again, you gently turn the meatballs. As you can see, the color is coming out nicely, nice and rich orangey color because of the rich tomatoes and the kidney beans are showing. The reason I put kidney beans in there is just to add more color, and it gives a nice look about the meatballs.
So you can cook it without the kidney beans?
Yes, without the kidney beans you can, but my family's like it with the kidney beans, so it's their favorite, so that's why I chose to use this recipe today. So we will cover it for another 5 to 10 minutes.
On high heat?
On very low heat, because you don't want the cream to overcook. Just as soon as it starts boiling, we reduce the heat and then it's done.
Can you put it in the microwave and let it cook? If people are running out of time or, just want it to be done fast.
Once the sauce is done on the stove, yes, you can put the meatballs into the oven-proof dish and mix it all up with the cream, you can put it in the microwave.
Oh, okay. And how long would it be in the microwave? How long would you keep it?
8 to 7 minutes, not more than 10 minutes, because microwave cooks faster than the
So
conventional
will it
oven.
become hard if you put it in the microwave?
No, because of the juice with the sauce and the meatballs. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Okay. So whether you do it on the stove top or you do it in the microwave,
Yeah.
the moisture and the
Should.
will be retained in the kebabs.
Yes, it should be. Lastly, garnish it just a sprinkle of a little bit of garam masala and garnish it with dhania, which I will mix it all together.
Are you going to use some for the garnish later on in the platter?
Yes, I can use some for the platter. You can see the meatballs are nice and fluffy. They're not hard or anything. They're nice, soft meatballs. Now that is ready to be served. I have a plate of basmati rice here, which we are going to serve the meatballs into. I'm just picking the meatballs at the moment so they can be nicely arranged, and then you can dribble the sauce on top of it. I will sprinkle the meatballs with a little bit of dhania and just put a little bit more coriander leaves so it makes it nice and colorful.